air, water, earth, fire. For hundreds of years, the four nations have lived in harmony. The Avatar, master of all four elements, was always responsible for maintaining the peace. But Avatar Roku passed away 13 years ago. Now, the four nations look to the air nomads to reveal the next Avatar, but the world is met with silence. Rumors from the Earth Kingdom abound that the Fire Nation is planning an aggressive move into the Earth Kingdom. 5 young heroes were too late to save the Southern Air Temple, but hold vital information that could save the Earth Kingdom, and maybe even save the world.
Welcome, everybody, to the Flying Bison podcast. This is it. This is the first. We've done our character creation, our campaign creation. It's the first playing episode. For the listeners, you probably are just listening to this immediately after listening to us talk about our characters for 1 to 3 hours. But for us, we are just downright so excited to play as our characters and jump into this story that we are creating. For those who don't know us, still getting introduced, I'm Justin, the GM and storyteller. We've got a bunch of people around. I'm not going to have them introduce themselves, but we got Danny, Nick, Monroe, Johnny, and Steve. And we are so excited to just entertain you. Just sit back, pop your feet up on a stool in front of your chair and just kind of, I don't know, melt into us telling you a fun story with, I guess there's genocide technically in this. So can you
colonization?
Colonization. And it's not, I guess, not really a relaxing.
Kick back for some dark themes.
I mean, no one thinks about Avatar having dark themes, but it does.
It's just real. It's just real world stuff.
Yeah.
So there's all the good and the bad.
Well, I was has everyone here had braces? Everyone have braces here?
No. I missed that boat.
You missed the boat?
Me too.
There's a boat you can always get on.
Yeah, we can get you some braces.
I'm all right, thank you.
You got the hookup?
Yeah.
Is that our first Patreon goal?
Get braces for Steve.
Get unneeded braces for Steve. He doesn't need them.
I don't need 'em either.
He wants on the
This
boat.
guy out, please.
It's a fashion choice.
Get Steve Invisalign.
Well,
Everyone's going to be wondering what my teeth look like if we blow this up. It's a joke.
Very British. Let's give the listeners a picture.
I recently moved and I lost my retainer, so I had to get a new one. But that means I had to find a new orthodontist. So it means I had to go through this whole rigmarole of like going and getting like my teeth scanned. But then it was the coolest thing. I picked up my retainers today. They gave me the scans. It's like I have molds of my teeth now.
Oh, cool.
They're just like sitting in my bathroom. And I've never seen that before. It's crazy.
Should make something out of that.
I should make some art out of it.
So it's like 3-dimensional mold.
It's like a 3-dimensional mold of my teeth.
So you use it as like a spot to keep your retainer.
I could do that. Yeah, I could use
always
it
on your teeth.
I could use it. Then if my doctor asks me if I wear my retainer all the time on my teeth, I can say yes.
It's always on my teeth.
It is always
How did you get onto this topic?
I don't know.
Were you are you winding up for like a brace yourself joke or like I just wasn't sure because all of a sudden like, hey, did everyone get braces? I just need to know before we go on an adventure.
I like to make sure that the people I'm getting on board with are the types of people that are going to be good for me. You know what I mean?
So people who've had braces?
Yeah, people that have had braces. So
all right, so Steve, we gotta go. Sorry.
It's kind of a bummer, but we're really looking forward to seeing.
Both Johnny and Monroe shook their heads no, so we have a majority non-braced group.
Wow, I'm in the minority here, huh? Me and Danny.
Wouldn't be used to that.
Interesting, very interesting. Well, you know what's actually this is a fascinating little tidbit here. Often people of mixed heritage have braces because you've got essentially like two different jaw lines. So when I read that, I was like, that makes sense.
Messes with
That's
their teeth,
why I've
man.
got braces. But that's interesting because we've got a bunch of mixed heritage people.
Yeah.
Rosic and Shay now probably need
Rosic
braces.
and Shay now need braces, and now there's going to be a whole arc of them having to go to the orthodontist.
I had a dentist tell me once that my teeth aren't like terrible, but I could have benefited from braces in terms of straightening them. But my bite is normal, and so they said that I shouldn't get braces because it might make my bite abnormal. And since my bite is good, having straight teeth is less important.
Yeah, I was also told to that I could benefit from that too, but I didn't go that route.
Here you are. We're all here. Some of us had braces. Some of us haven't. Well, let's sink our teeth into a little avatar, huh? There it is.
Hey, I see what you did there.
Real smooth.
We need
Well,
a soundboard for some future episodes, by the way, Jim. You need to just like blare on some button board.
We have a soundboard
good
here.
at
I
editing.
asked if someone wants to be in charge of the soundboard, they should be in charge.
I've got
of
one
the
built into my mixer too. I can just
Dude, you should, yeah.
Bring in some of that flavor, man. I was
Yes,
just trying to imitate the
please.
wah-wah horn. Oh my gosh, here it is!
Oh,
At his fingertips. What a wizard.
Oh, the power.
John
The power
knows
he has
any
access
sound.
to.
the quality of this podcast just raised like 100%.
Well,
join our Patreon for the next sound effect.
yes.
Braces.
Send us, or a Patreon goal can be back us and send us a sound effect, and we'll play it in an
We'll
episode.
incorporate it.
That's a dangerous game.
It's so dangerous.
We'll like control, like no explicatives.
I should be clear. We do not, as of yet, have a Patreon. So
Oh,
So don't go looking for it.
we don't have an active. I don't have an active Patreon.
Don't even
so
try to give to us. 'Cause
if you find something,
no,
If
try.
you find
please
a
try.
if you find a Patreon called Flying Bison Podcast,
Yep.
run. It's not us.
well, don't say that.
Unless we put it up by the time this episode
Yeah.
releases.
we might have. we
Oh
might have, we'll
shoot!
see.
Oh no, there's no going back.
Yeah, just mixed signals to our audience.
Yeah.
Don't run.
Everyone's really clear now on what
Yeah.
to do.
Now that we're on the
Yes.
same page.
Let's. I'm gonna just summarize our pilot episode, and that'll be kind of where we begin. So I'm envisioning like that camera opening on a boat, actually, waves going along the water, and it sort of zooms inside of the boat, and inside of the boat we see the five of you. I would imagine Chain and Rozak are maybe in the same cell, and the rest of you are in separate cells. And we see just these quick scenes of the five of you talking and introducing yourselves. And then you break free. And you're running through the boat, helping other maybe prisoners out, letting out some of the animals, and then Liko turns around and runs back and frees this just giant dragon otter that then bursts out of the boat, alerting the Fire Nation to the fact that their prisoners have escaped. And so, we see a bunch of scenes of the five of you fighting down hallways and around corners. There's a scene where Rozak throws up like a wall of fire, and a couple firebenders jump through it, but not before like Liko just runs up and punches them in the face with her ice knuckles, and they just fall unconscious. And you guys are running and you're escaping. And there's a moment in which you're all cornered. All five of you are cornered, and you're desperately trying to escape. And so Chainow's trying to just he doesn't have access to earth, so he's just like shooting blasting jelly and trying to shoot this like almost wrist flamethrower at people. And Osa's like bowling balling himself into Fire Nation soldiers as they're trying to surround him. And Rensong is taking on a couple people at once, dodging and weaving around them. But there's a moment in which it's clear that the 5 of you are not able to fight anymore, and you're surrounded by a contingency of Fire Nation soldiers, but not before out of the water, this dragon otter bursts forth and sprays these Fire Nation soldiers with this ice breath, freezing them, beckons for the 5 of you to come on, and you escape. And we see some short scenes of you flying. You land in the Earth Kingdom, and we see a couple scenes of the Fire Nation searching for you as you're hiding. And then we finally see this scene of Elder Panchen, and there's a moment at which the Fire Nation General Shi is about to find you, but Elder Panchen stands between and allows the 5 of you to escape on Rue, the dragon otter. And it's at that moment, that would be the end of the pilot. You're flying away, and maybe I would imagine it's probably like Che or Rozak that like looks back at this Earth Kingdom colony that they're flying away from, and you see bouts of fire. Just a terrible fight is happening between the citizens of Chin Village and these Fire Nation soldiers. And that's the end of the pilot episode. And so camera fades to black, but the second episode starts with the camera fading up, and the 5 of you are on Rue, just sort of flying. It's only been a little bit of time since you've escaped Chin Village. You've got a moment to collect yourselves, and while you've introduced yourselves, you guys haven't had time to really had any conversation between the 5 of you at all, because you've been pretty much on the run. So you have a moment now to catch your breath, talk to each other, maybe introduce yourselves to each other, and figure out what your next step is.
I had heard bad things about firebenders, but nothing like this.
Yeah, that was a lot to take in all at once, but what should we do now?
What do you mean, what should we do? We need to get the word out.
Word out, like that lady sacrificed herself for it. Well, I don't know we don't even know what happened to her. Shouldn't we do something about that? Can we do something about that? Well, it feels wrong to just leave him behind.
Rensong just stares at his feet. Good point.
Right. I mean, I don't know. Maybe there's nothing we can do.
But there's more that can happen if we don't deliver news.
That is true.
You talk about one person versus a whole bunch of people.
I guess it's easy math. So, anybody know how to get to Ba Sing Se? Or
I think our best next course of action is to, yes, what you just said. Go to Ba Sing Se. So
I don't know
let's
the
head
way
there. All right, Rue. Rozak taps on Rue's back and points into a random direction to Ba Sing Se.
is there any way we could get like a saddle? Because I just, out of character, I imagine us all just like gripping on for dear life.
Holding on for dear
So we're just
life.
having this casual conversation, and then it
What am I
cuts out, and
grabbing
we're
onto?
just like, just fur, I guess.
Yeah,
So, Liko,
if it's a dragon otter.
you and this dragon otter are buds?
Yeah, I guess so.
It's
now,
working out so far.
yeah, she hasn't.
Is there a possibility of that not working out? Because I feel like we should address that now.
Can we get a saddle or?
We can try
What?
to.
We'll
was
probably have a saddle in Ba Sing Se.
It's pretty far, bro.
Yeah. That is really far.
It's only
Well,
across.
Is there any place
nation's
nearby?
Go to Ba
How
Sing
big
Se.
do we all get individual saddles, or do we just get like one gigantic one. And we sit on it. And where do we buy this? Did we go to a village or something?
Are there any leftover flying bison saddles from your home temple?
Probably not a good thing to bring that up.
Yeah,
Rozak?
bro. What are you thinking?
The bison are
I'm sorry,
entirely
I
different
didn't-
shape from the dragon otter anyway.
Yeah, it doesn't really work.
I'm sorry I brought it up in the first place.
How chunky is this dragon otter? Is it like flying bison chunky?
It's not that chunky. It's a little slimmer than that. I think you it's big enough that you guys can what is it called? Bareback ride it.
So it's like a polar bear dog that's the length of a flying bison.
Probably longer.
It's way longer than a flying
So,
bison.
Longer? All right.
so we've established that it's fur that we're sitting on, not scales.
I think that's what.
Because if it is scales, we probably should get saddles.
That's very great.
I'd like to think there's like a mix between like fur
Yeah.
and scales. Maybe it has like scales on its belly or something.
I like it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like fur on the top and scales in the belly. And
Seems reasonable.
Rozak, you've like pointed in a random direction, and Rue, this like furry, scaly otter head like pops up. Just like,
I'm being
Is it
What
sad?
does that mean?
I don't speak otter.
You barely speak English.
being a nomad and having traveled between the temples some, I'm assuming I would know how to at least figure out what direction Bossing Say is, right?
yeah.
Okay. Then with that knowledge, I'll be like, I'll lean forward and be like, it's actually that way, Rue. And point the right way.
Rue starts turning. It was like going south east.
Just
And it like completely turns like the opposite direction.
Definitely. That's literally the opposite direction.
Just based on Rue's noises, I'm already feeling so much affection for this beautiful animal.
And it starts flying. It's almost like a wavy like snake in the air as it's flying through the air. And you guys start flying, and it's a little bit of time passes, and you're continuing to fly. You're beginning to see, mountain ranges, and from behind a mountain range, you can't really see where it's coming from, but you can see almost like a small light from behind one of these mountain ranges start flying towards you and getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger until all of a sudden there's a number of fireballs just coming towards the five of you flying on Rue.
How did they find us so fast?
What the hell is that? Sorry.
I'm gonna.
Wait, where
I
are
don't
we?
think those are
What are
natural.
we flying over?
Yeah, where
Flying
are we?
over. Well, do you want to look down?
Yeah,
Uh-oh.
I am.
Why don't you? Our first roll, Rensong. Why don't you give me an assess the situation?
All right, here goes. All right, what do I add to that?
When you assess the situation, roll with creativity.
All right, my creativity is 0, so no modifier. So it's just 8.
An 8. Okay. So if you're on the non-combat moves, you can ask me one of those questions there.
Okay.
8 is a hit. So for those unfamiliar with Powered by the Apocalypse, which is what Avatar uses, every roll is going to be 2d6, adding one of your stats. On a 2 to a 6, you're going to fail. And the GM gets to introduce a complication into the narrative. On a 7 to 9, it's a hit. But there might be some complications, and on a 10 plus, you get to do what you want and more. So Rensong has rolled an 8, which means he gets to ask the GM one question, and I need to answer honestly, although I do not need to answer completely.
Yeah, my question is just what's the best way out or in or through this threat?
So you look down and you see that there's a barrage of fireballs coming at you, and you look down and you see it looks like there's a small village next to a single dormant mountain that you might be able to hide in and sort of wait out. It almost feels as though these fireballs weren't intended for you specifically, that you just seemed to be in the way of them.
Huh. Okay. I'm gonna announce. Rensong is gonna announce that to the group. It's like that mountain pass might be the best way out of here.
Let's take it.
Any objections?
Too late. Let's go.
Rue mountains.
Flies down behind the mountains where the fireballs no longer can hit it, and it's now about a mile or two outside of this small village you saw next to this mountain.
So where are these fireballs headed?
You see, as you look up, you see the fireballs continue to sail past where you are, and they seem to hit a section of the forest.
The forest. What is going on?
Yeah, where are we? We're on a mountain.
You were on Rue, and now you've
And-
flown down into the mountainous region, and you see sort of
Yeah.
a small village that's by a singular mountain.
But we don't know what area we're in. Like, we don't know what city or anything, or like kingdom, like Rome. Nothing.
Well, you know who probably might know is Che. Che might know, actually, being from these Earth colonies. You've probably heard of this city. It's the city of Soboha.
Soboha.
Yep.
So just like a village north of Chin.
Yep. It's probably about hour or so horse ride from Chin.
Okay. So yeah, so we're in Soboha, you say?
Soboha.
Soboha. It seems, I think from how far we went and the direction we went, that village is Soboha. I'm not sure what the fireballs are about. Are the fireballs coming out of the village? Or
No, they're coming from even further past the mountain ranges, almost like sort of over
And we looked at their trajectory, and they're hitting forest, but we don't know more than that yet.
past you. Yeah. Probably about south.
So they're attacking.
South of Soboha and in the forest region, these fireballs.
And how far away are we from our destination?
You're still pretty far. This is only maybe
Okay.
a 30-45 minute fly from Chin. Like, you've just escaped Chin village.
Okay.
So your day is weeks away from getting to Ba Sing Se.
I don't think those were for us.
Right. But should we check out what's going on? I mean, it's fire.
The people of Sabaha might know
Yeah.
as well.
Do you want to check in with them?
So
Wait.
Yeah.
We said we weren't going back to Chin because we need to go deliver this message, but we're going to go check on these people?
I don't think we should.
I mean,
it may get us in more danger than we already
do you
are.
think they have
And
any
right now we don't
food?
seem to be.
I am kind of hungry. That's fair.
Oh my
What,
god!
we need to eat. We were captives like a day ago. All right.
All right, let's make a vote then. Who wants to continue, and who wants to go check out what's going on? So,
Right.
well,
Right.
so who wants to go? Who wants to go check out what's happening with the
I
village?
do.
Ren shrugs.
That's
Ren
one.
shrugs and just says, I understand that we need food. So we can go in for food, but I don't want to stay here and get burned when we could deliver that news to the Earth King.
That's fair.
yeah, that's my vote too. I don't want to hang out. I just want to eat.
All right, well, I guess we go.
I mean, we are on a flying otter, so our news is gonna travel faster than most other sources of
Dragon otter.
news delivery.
Yeah, get it right.
Yes, sorry, dragon otter. Sorry, Rue. Sorry.
So let's fly down to the village, I guess?
That's
He
my
always
girl.
sounds so frustrated. She always sounds so frustrated.
Yeah, she has to deal with the 5 of us. So I guess we fly down to the village then, right?
Yeah.
Stay low to the ground, though.
Fly down to the village. Rue lands just outside of the gate to this village. And you can now see into this village. It's really tiny. It's, maybe 30 to 50 people, if that. And it's not very big. There's maybe a couple food carts and like a tavern or a place that you can like spend the night. But other than that, it's pretty sparse. As you like walk in, you're seeing just like a couple people milling about. Most of them are covered in like really dirty clothes. Earthbender clothes are like covered in like soot and coal almost. But you see a couple food carts, a couple people just sort of hanging about, and what looks to be maybe the most populous place in Sapoha is this like inn place to lay your head.
Are there any signs of damage or Fire Nation activity or attack or anything like that? Fire Nation presence?
Ren, why don't you roll assess the situation again?
In the meantime,
9.
Che like leans over to Rozek and he's like, "So all Earthbenders are that dirty? I thought it was just you."
Yikes.
Rozek looks at Che now, and he holds out his hands. He says, "Do you need any money for the food cart, little brother?"
I mean, yeah.
Just talk past him.
Go get some cabbages.
Pat him on the head.
What did we assess?
Yeah, what did I see with my 9?
With a 9, you can ask me one question.
Okay. Yeah. I'm just cracking up. Yeah, who or what here is the biggest threat? And if there's nothing, that's fine.
You are looking around and you see, now apart from the 2 people that look as though they're either the food cart owners or just sort of walking to their next destination, from around the corner of just like a small ramshackle house, you see what looks to be like 5 people wearing, they're not quite Fire Nation soldier uniforms, but they're very reminiscent of Fire Nation soldier uniforms, except instead of the like fire symbol, it's like a lantern that doesn't have a flame on it. And you see these 5 soldiers walk into the food, like the tavern in place. And they look like they're not looking to be kind to whatever is going on in there.
So those guys may work for the same organization that my father does, which may or may not be capitulating to the Fire Nation. So I don't know how we want to deal with that. I could probably play it off for us if you guys wanted me to do that, but they look kind of they're looking like they're trying to do something. I don't know if we want to get in their way or if we want to.
It sounds like for now we should just avoid the tavern.
Yeah, I thought we came in
Yeah.
for food.
Just stop at the cart and go.
Yes.
That's all I
Let's
want.
hope it doesn't come to that, Che, now.
I'm making my way to the nearest, whichever cart is nearer.
He's already gone. He's just.
The whole time Osa's just been looking at the food.
Ren is following Osa just to make sure that this gets over with as quickly as possible. I have my suspicions.
Now, just for clarification, there was nothing, like there's no damaged buildings or anything like that from the...
There are no damaged buildings. You do see, I mean, everything looks pretty run down, but you don't see any evidence of like scorch marks or anything like that.
Right. So where were these fireballs like headed? If it wasn't
A nearby
To,
forest.
to the forest beyond the village.
okay, so the village is okay then. They're fine, apparently.
On the surface.
Okay.
Before
As for-
Ren
yeah.
goes to follow Osa, Rosa says to Ren, maybe we should ask the card owner about those fireballs that are in the air right now.
Are they still in
Well,
there?
well, they go. Well, what if we like split up? What if Che and Liko go see what's going on with those people while Rosic and Ren and Oso go get the food and probably ask about that? Can we do that, or
Yeah, we
is
can do
that?
that.
If you do that, just try not to be seen by those people,
Yeah.
Well, I'm
considering what she now said.
yeah, for sure.
Was that something that we want to do though? Because I'm not going to volunteer you.
I'm down. I'm down to see what they're up to. I'm kind of curious.
Okay.
We should
Alright,
probably know
yeah.
what's going on here because it would just give us a more accurate report of, like, to the Earth King.
Mm-hmm.
Like they were in this village,
And the
doing
dumplings
this.
were excellent.
and the dumplings were excellent. Well, I hope.
Most importantly.
You don't find any dumplings, actually. You find like boiled cabbage, and there's like a dusting of like charcoal on top of it. And you
guys.
look up and you see this like man. He's like, "That's a Sobo whole delicacy right there. That's cold cabbage."
Do you have
Oh,
anything
cabbage.
with meat in it?
Well, and he sort of like looks around and opens like a couple like drawers in his cart. And he's like, "I bought this a couple weeks ago and just never got to cooking it." And it's like this gray piece of meat. He's like, "I suppose I could cook this next to the cabbage."
Does the other cart sell meat?
Nope, just cabbage, Cole. It's really the only thing that we eat here.
Fine. I buy several cabbages with coal dusted on them.
Yeah,
If you close your eyes there, if you close your eyes and don't think too hard, the coal kind of tastes like meat.
I, for some reason, highly doubt that.
Like really burned meat, but
Osa, I thought you were a vegetarian anyways. Why don't you just eat the
I'm not a
cabbage?
vegetarian. Everyone thinks that I'm not. Everyone thinks because I'm an airbender I don't eat meat, but that's why I don't have my arrows. That's why I wasn't at the temple. I love meat. It's the best.
Oh,
I don't really want any of this cabbage.
all right, more for me. And he like eats one of his own coal cabbages.
Is there anything that Ren can store them in? Like
yeah,
a cabbage in a bag kind of a deal? Or like
Yeah, I'm sure you've picked up like a little like a side satchel when you were in Chin Village.
I'll put them in my bamboo satchel. I need it to breathe
before
a
we
little
go,
bit.
Rozak says, "Oh, good cabbage selling, sir." We're not very observant people, and we just noticed those the fireballs going into the nearby forest. What the heck is that?
Oh, you're out of towners, huh?
Does this happen
You can-
all the time?
No, but just by the way, you can call me Poe.
Hey,
Sticks his hand out and shakes it, and it's like covered in soot and coal and cabbage.
Pass on the handshake, personally.
Rozak goes and shakes his hand.
And now your hand is just like slimy and like also like dusty.
He wipes it on whoever's next to him.
If that's Ren, you're getting smacked.
Well,
I like to imagine it's Osa.
you see, we think that there's some Fire Nation soldiers on the north side of these mountains, and they've been, well, shooting these fireballs over into the forest there, because we've got a secret. Shh, come in here.
We all lean. I lean
got the
in.
great cabbage spirit protecting us.
You killed Danny.
Sorry. Oh, sorry, Poe. What?
Cabbage spirit's no joke. They've been trying to flush them out of the forest with their fireballs.
Rozak
glad we
turns.
went
Rozak turns to Osa and Rensong and kind of like faces away from Poe, the cabbage man, and just sort of mouths like, "Is he okay? Is he all right in
You
the?"
look back and he's like,
In the
he's got his
head.
whole hand in his mouth and he's like sucking on the cabbage and coal.
I take spirits seriously, but well, thank you for the information, Poe.
Okay,
You too,
maybe we should ask someone else.
perhaps.
Cut to the tavern.
Perhaps the others have better information.
Meanwhile,
Yeah, thank God we did that. You guys would have come back with nothing.
Shay and Liko, you follow these 5 Fire Nation soldiers into this little inn, and as you're walking up, you see like a name over it that says the Dragon's Scales, and you walk in, and there's it's a small town, but most of the villagers are in this sort of inn tavern, and these 5 walk in, and you walk in and they're sort of assaulting one of the tables, and you can see this like older gentleman who's just like cowering under them, and you walk in, and what you hear at the end is, "It's the Fire Nation's town now, everybody out."
So they're just like herding everybody out of the building.
They're threatening people, and they've got those like little fire flames coming out of their fists, and they're just like pointing them at people and saying, "This is a Fire Nation town now. If you're not gonna get in with that picture, then get out now."
Gentlemen, I think you're moving a little fast with the physical threats. I think these kind people are more than willing to accept Fire Nation rule, but I don't think you need to be so upfront about it. After all,
What?
the fire that waits.
Scorches the earth.
That is correct.
What? Their flames go down. What are you doing here? Who sent you?
I'm the son of Naojo Longshire. And, my father prefers a less overt approach, if you can handle that. I don't know if it's too much for you. I don't know what you think you're going to gain by threatening this old man, but the Fire Nation doesn't need people who can only bully it elderly. So maybe think on that one.
Why don't you?
Let's check that diplomacy.
That's good. That's good. Are you trying to get them to do anything?
Yeah, I'm trying to get them to like back down and like, kind of accept my authority,
Okay.
so I can ask them some questions.
I think that's definitely an intimidate then. When you intimidate an NPC into backing off or giving in, roll with passion.
Okay, we'll see how that goes.
How much passion do you have, Che, now?
I'm about to find out. Not bad. What I have to passion. I don't know what my passion is. It's 1. Oh, so 9.
So it's a hit. I get to choose one for them to do.
Okay.
The flames on their hands go down, and they're sort of like watching you intently. And they say, Your launcher's son, huh?
Yeah.
Rumor is that he lost you. What are you doing here?
Well, I'm just trying to make a name for myself. Can't live under my father's shadow forever. Trying to make a name for myself and do something for the Fire Nation.
Well, then you understand. Surely you understand how important this town is
Well,
to the efforts
absolutely.
of the Fire Nation.
Yeah. I'm just questioning your efficacy in taking it.
There are. He sort of like beckons the two of you over to the bar.
Okay. I'll come over. I'll just kind of whisper to Nico, like, just go with it. Just play along.
She's totally doing
Go.
that. She's not,
And they
not
sort
a
of
peep.
lean on the bar and beckon the bartender over, and he's this burly dude who lumbers up, and the Fire Nation soldier says, Do you guys need anything to drink?
No, we're all right for now. Thank you.
All right, understood. And then turns back to the bartender and says, "The fire that waits." And as the bartender's like leaving, he goes, "Scorches the earth." And you see Che as he says that too. Behind him, there's like the storage room for the bar. You see an unlit torch, sort of etched near the door. And then this soldier turns to the two of you and says, "I thought they put us in charge to take over the town by force. It's small enough that we could just kick everyone out, and then we would have complete access to the mine."
Yeah, but who's going to work the mine if you kick everybody out of the village?
The Fire Nation. This is just the first step.
Yeah, and you're going to have a bunch of first wave Fire Nation soldiers put down their arms and start mining coal? Think long term. Come on. We need people to work the mines, right?
And you can see like gears turning in his head.
Yeah.
He's like having trouble. Like,
I didn't think of that.
oh,
Yeah, there you go.
oh, they would work the mines.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, change of plans, everyone. We're all going to the mine. And everyone's like cowering again.
Not really what I meant, but close enough. So, as you probably aren't aware, as you don't seem to pick up on things very quickly, I'm here to, check out the invasion. My father obviously didn't want me too close to all of this, but yeah, I think I can serve some value to the Fire Nation out here in the front lines, and clearly I already have. How is this operation going specifically? Can you give me an update?
Well, we got the notification from your father that it was time to take over the town, take over the mine, and start mining what we know is hidden. And you just caught us at that exact moment. Do you know much about the town?
Not this specific operation, just that it's important. Is there anything that you can share?
Well, somewhat on a need-to-know basis. And he sort of looks at Liko behind you.
Oh, yeah, this is just my my associate. She's bodyguard, mercenary that I'm paying.
Why don't you...
She's a professional. You don't have to worry about all that.
Why don't you roll to trick?
Okay, what does
Yeah,
that
because
mean?
what Fire Nation boys rolling with a swamp bodyguard?
I feel like enough
a mercenary.
lies have passed that it's time to try and trick him.
Roll with creativity.
So yeah, when you trick an NPC, roll with creativity.
Okay. Okay, 10.
All right. On a 10, they fall for it and do what they want, and you get to pick 2. They either stumble and take +1 forward against them, they act foolishly, or they overcommit.
I'm gonna say they overcommit.
You can pick 2.
Oh, and they act foolishly.
Okay.
Yes.
They like we've never had a launcher talk to us directly, so you can take command of this operation if you need to. Please, we'll tell you anything you need to know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to steal your guys' thunder, but maybe I can, point out some other efficiencies that could be increased, and maybe even put in a good word with my father after if this goes well.
That would be amazing. I've been actually wanting to get out of the thug game. I've wanted to be a cook for your father for some time now.
That's an interesting career path you've laid out for yourself. We'll see what we can do about that.
Ever since I was a child, I've just loved making dumplings for people. It's sort of a passion.
Of course.
So this is a potential party member, is what you're saying. The ghost is not hearing this.
Close enough that I just heard dumplings.
He smelled it on the wind. Anyways, so can you give me that report about what's going on?
Yes. Well, I'm not sure what you do know, so Saboha used to be one of the premier places to mine precious metals from the dormant volcano, Mount Hakora. But over the last years, they've not been able to find anything here. And so they've gone destitute, and the village has suffered from it. But we think that were we to take it over, we could have our firebenders sort of reinvigorate the volcano and mine precious metals again that we could use to build weapons and war machines that would help in the conquest.
All right. Wow. That does sound like it'll be a worthy endeavor for the Fire Nation. Other than the mining suggestion I already gave, I don't know how much more help I can be. Not much of a bender of lava, so can't help you there.
I don't think that sounds crazy. No one can bend lava.
Yeah, that's such a weird. I don't even know why I said it.
Yeah, I can't imagine. It couldn't be that you watched all of the Avatar series.
Ridiculous suggestion, that is.
Yeah, no, it's
You're way ahead of the times, buddy.
yeah. I don't know.
That's almost as crazy as someone bending metal.
Crazy.
So, I don't think there's much to add. I could use some supplies. I actually wanted to check on some of the other operations in the area. And also, if you could give me like a layout of the different operations, just so I can check on them easier. Because I knew of this one as like a general position, but in relation, I'm not very good at navigating, so I could use a map.
Well, you know that it's a need-to-know basis. To protect each other's cells, we don't.
Right. I was wondering if you're aware of any of the adjacent cells, but it's not a big deal. I'll figure it out. I found you. I can find other people.
Sure. Well, if you need supplies, we've started to build our base of operations in the volcano. You'll find a few more members there. You can actually, and he points to the door that had that unlit lantern symbol on it, and he says, you can take that down to the basement of this inn. There's an underground tunnel that goes all the way to the volcano.
And then I would the supplies are there, and I can come all the way there.
Yes, that's where your father told us to put the supplies.
All right. I'll probably go overground because we have a beast of burden. We'll probably be loading up. So that's probably how that's gonna work out.
Whatever works for you. We're just happy. Please put in a good word with your father, and we're so thankful.
Absolutely, yeah.
kind of tired of being a gang member. It's just,
I understand.
can I just be real with you for a second, man? Like,
Absolutely, yeah. Hit me.
It's tiring. You
Yeah.
know?
Demanding.
I don't want to threaten 80-year-old men.
Well, we proved that you don't have to.
Yeah, you're right. Thanks.
Well,
All
no
right, well, yeah, you can just go and we'll tell you when
yeah, if you could let the
here.
the people at the mountain know that I'm on my way, and I'll have several servants and a beast of burden.
Well, you'll probably get there faster than we can
Oh, that's fair.
let them know. But you know the passcodes, of course.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, thank you. What was your name again? I gotta know for.
For your report, completely understand. They call me Yuri.
Yuri.
Yuri,
Right.
yes.
I remember that. All right. Thank you for your service, Yuri, and we'll get that earth scorched. No problem.
Scorched Earth.
And I'll motion to Liko to get this time to go.
Yep, right behind you.
Okay, and we'll meet up with the crew who is probably walking towards the tavern at
Who
this
had a
time.
much less satisfying journey.
Yeah.
You
Like,
walk out of the tavern, and yeah, you see Osa and Rozak and Rensong walking back.
Did you guys get supplies?
There are no.
I got 3 cabbages
dumplings in this
Cabbage.
entire town.
covered in charcoal dust. He looks disappointed, down at his feet again.
Okay, well, good news is I secured us supplies. Bad news is they are technically from the Fire Nation, but that's details. We got to go to the mountain, pick them up, and then we'll be on our way. I figured out what's going on here. The Fire Nation thinks that they, with their more advanced machinery and with their heat bending abilities, they could get deeper into the mountain mine, which to the earthbenders is dry, but maybe to the firebenders not so much.
Shay, are you being careful? I mean, talking to
Yeah, I didn't even
Fire
talk to them.
Nation soldiers
I
and-
was like overhearing their conversation. You know, don't worry about it.
I think I have a move for this.
Is it your distrusting move?
Yeah.
Shit.
I literally, yep. Suspicious mind.
Tell
When you watch a person carefully to figure them out, roll a focus. And depending on what I roll, I can ask questions. So here's something that I've never really. So it says on a 7 to 9, hold 1. On a 10 plus, hold 2. What does that mean? Hold 1.
Yeah.
Hold 2.
So then, if you read that next sentence, it says spend your hold 1 for 1 to ask their player questions while you observe or interact with them.
So depending on how much I can hold, that's how many
Correct.
questions I can ask. Okay, so hold 2 means I can ask
2 questions.
2 questions.
And it can be over some time
Alright.
because it's while you observe or interact with them. So like you could ask a question now, and then in a little bit, ask another question.
All right. Yeah. Yeah, so I'll roll focus. As Shayna just looks at Rozak, giving him a stink eye.
Wait, did you ask me something, or you just okay?
Not yet. I'm rolling right now. So focus is +2. Nice. I rolled 7 on the dice. +2, that's a 9.
So you get to hold 1 and ask a question.
Do I have to answer honestly? Is that how that works?
Yeah, it says they must answer honestly. So I'm just gonna ask now, are you telling the truth?
I answer this out of character, right? Like this question isn't literally.
I would
being
answer this in character.
asked. All right. So I have to answer honestly.
Yeah, so Rozak just looks at Shay now and he goes, Shay, did you really just overhear the conversation?
No. And he kind of like looks down and shifts a little bit. He's like, well, I know the passcode, so I could interact with them. And I threw our dad's name out, and then they kind of just like worshipped the ground that I walked on. And it was just, I'm used to that.
You still need to be careful with that, though. You know
Yeah, but we're gonna get supplies. It worked out, and we know what's going on here, and we can report it to the Earth King. You know, I can keep playing that card.
Just promise me you'll be careful. Okay, don't be reckless with
reckless at
this power that you have for some reason.
It's not. I mean, it's 'cause
Powers
her
of
dad-
persuasion.
Yeah, because her dad is literally in charge of all of this.
Yeah, the power that.
Literally comes with our name.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be careful. No worries.
I just don't like the idea
So
of
when are you gonna give me the
going
passcode?
underground with more Fire Nation to get supplies.
We're just grabbing the supplies and leaving. You know, it'll be a simple. I'll tell them like we're on a different mission and we just need to be supplied by them, and you know it'll be lickety split. We're out of there.
Won't we blow your cover?
No.
I mean,
you guys are my servants or mercenaries or undercover
I could
operatives. Also, you know, just from other nations.
I could always just show them that I'm a firebender. That
Maybe we should leave Osa in the woods.
I think Osa's the hardest airbender to hide.
Fair.
Osa could stay with our steed.
Yeah, we need to load the steed. Well, I guess without his tattoos, if we just gave him some different clothes, he wouldn't look like an airbender. Just a shaven-headed guy.
Gotta love those.
If we can find clothes that fit, I'll change.
We'll deal with it on the way.
You're talking outside, then Poe jumps up behind you and he's like, I hear you need some clothes?
Oh,
How is
dear
this
gosh.
man a
Oh my
student in
gosh.
any way? Like,
Do you have clothes that could fit him? And I point at the 6 foot tall, massive man.
Got these old cabbage burlap sacks.
Oh my god.
I think we're gonna have to pass on those. Thank you though for the offer.
Okay. And he sticks
Please?
his left hand into his.
All right. Well, good luck with that. Anyways, let's go get supplies and get the hell out of here.
So what are you doing with Osa then? Leaving Osa?
We'll like head towards the mountain and then kind of like drop him in the woods beforehand. Because it's probably not worth the risk, even though he doesn't have his tattoos. If they're not gonna believe me if they just see like an airbender there.
Should we arrange some sort of like signal in case things go wrong and you need me?
Yeah, if you see explosions and fire being shot into the air, other than the fire that's already being shot into the air, you should probably.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, that'll be the signal.
So your fire will look different
Yeah, it'll look really different. You ever seen a firework? Do you even know what that is?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not a 3-year-old. I mean,
I'm sorry. I just learned today that all Earth Nation people are a little dirty. I didn't know that before. You know.
that seems racist.
Right? There's my brother, and then there's these people in this village. It's just my limited experience. I don't know.
We've met a lot of Earth Nation people. Just since I've been
Oh,
with
yeah,
you,
you're
who are
right.
Very kind.
Chin was
and
pretty clean.
well-groomed.
Yeah.
Can Liko like
really think about
interrupt what's going on?
I can definitely interrupt.
Rico can interact whenever she thinks to.
Okay, guys, let's not forget we still have something to do.
That is a really good point. We should get moving.
Still need to find me.
Yes, so we need to find
There
him.
will probably be meat
Yes.
with the supplies. But I think she was referring to the grave mission of reporting to the Earth King.
Okay, right. If I see any fire, I'll come help. You guys can help.
And if you're for some reason in any danger, just airbend, I guess.
I'll scream.
Well, he could probably get away.
Yeah.
What with having a giant dragon otter companion
Anyways.
and all?
True.
Well, he won't have the dragon. We gotta load it up.
shoot.
Supplies. So we'll get over there, and
Maybe the cabbage spirit will help me.
what?
It's this
Never
well
mind.
explained.
no.
Okay, guys,
All right.
let's let's get going here.
Yeah,
You're flying on Rue. I'm curious what Liko is thinking, because she's the one sort of pushing people to do this. But you just heard that, this could be a huge way for the Fire Nation to continue to like build weapons of war. Mm-hmm. So how is she balancing that? Like, we have this bigger mission, and yet there's something that could really affect and hurt the Fire Nation. What's going through Liko's head as she's like silently driving Rue towards the mountain?
Well, I think she's at conflict, but she also is bound to her vows. And I think even if the group didn't make a vow together, I think she made a vow that she was going to deliver this news. So I think she's just focused on that, even though she does have conflicting feelings about what's happening elsewhere. But she's also really good at just keeping true. So if she's not going to show it at all, which I think is probably why she wants to get out as fast as she can. That way, the longer she's there, the more likely she is going to do something.
Yeah, she's like, let's leave, because if we stay here, I'm going to care about these people.
Dang it.
I can't do that. I have a vow not to fall in love or not to do any of that stuff. So I gotta let's just get out of here, guys.
Fall in love with Poe, the cabbage coal merchant.
Yes.
What are the odds?
I think
we're all in danger.
We're all at risk for falling in love with Poe.
That charm.
You
the slimy hands
land a little bit away from the cave entrance and drop Osa off, and can then continue on to the entrance to this dormant volcano.
Yeah, so we get there. What's it looking like? There's like dudes.
So
on the
there's
outside?
you walk up to you fly up to the cave entrance, and there's flanked on each side of this large open cave mouth is two members each from what you know is your father's gang.
Yeah, so I'll do the call sign. The fire that waits.
Scorches the earth. What are you? We're not expecting
That is correct.
anyone here for quite a bit. What are you doing here?
Yeah, so this is a separate operation. I need a resupply, an emergency one. So if you could point me to the stores, I need to pack up. My associates are going to help me, and then we'll be out of your hair, so you can get back to your operation.
All right, but be careful down there. We've got a few members who are reigniting the volcano as we speak.
That sounds like a great plan. And I'm going to just move down.
We all just slowly do this.
I'll be like, all right, guys, let's go.
Side to
Let's move quickly.
The crabs.
Slowly crab walk into the tunnel.
Yeah, so we all go inside and Shay's like, all right, you guys could be a little less conspicuous, but also I don't think this is a good plan, so we should really hurry up. We should get moving because I think this is gonna not go well.
Yeah, I'd like to note that Liko did not do the crab walk. She has
She did
no
the
sense of
worm.
humor. That's right.
She did the Running Man into the. You guys walk in, and it's this giant, open-aired cavern in the middle of this mountain. It's a dormant volcano, and you start walking down the caldera into the bottom of the volcano, and you can see that there's at the very bottom there's like 5 firebenders who are just punching at this continual flame of fire into this one center of the volcano, and you can see it, building and building and building and continuing to build slowly, but it seems as though they're making very good progress into igniting this volcano. You keep walking past that, and you walk into and you see the storeroom.
Yeah, so would they have any ostrich horse saddles in here or anything like that?
Why don't you you have a roll for this, or you have a move for this?
I do.
You've got your Raid Your Lineage move.
Oh.
When you raid your lineage's resources without their consent or knowledge, mark a condition and roll with progress.
Okay. Mark a condition. So... do I have to say which one? Or-
Yeah. I mean, otherwise, if you don't have any idea, I'll leave it up to you. If you want to mark something specific, you can. Otherwise, I think probably afraid makes sense. Like, this is a pretty risky move that you're doing, and you're pulling it off, but like there's still that sense of which, like, this could go wrong at any moment.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll go with afraid. I'll mark afraid. And progress.
You do. So progress is one of your two traditions. Your principles, I mean. So you have tradition and progress. And everyone should have a 0 between their two principal scores right now. So right now it is a straight roll, but eventually, you can increase your progress and add to that roll.
Well, I rolled 2 6s.
Wow.
So I get to choose 2. Yes. On a hit, hold 1 resource, and I get to choose 2 extra things with 10. So I can obtain an additional 1 resource. You nabbed your goodies quietly. Your lineage is none the wiser. You steal yourself for what you're about. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to do the first 2. So I'm going to obtain extra resources, so twice as much as normal. And we've done it quiet. We successfully gotten out of there. They did none the wiser.
Quietly and quickly. What I think, what I'm reading that as your father will not know that this has been taken.
Okay, that's fair.
So you have 2 resources. So the successor can spend resource during a session to establish a boon you had previously asked for or obtained, something that your lineage's unique position and stores could provide, a vehicle, an invitation into a private event, or a powerful chamber, a chest of jade coins. What are your family's resources? I believe it's contacts and cold hard cash, right?
Yeah, so I guess it's just the money. There's probably like a money supply there. For the sake of, I don't know, convenient. No, there's probably also at least some like military supplies. I'd like to think Che like re-ups on like some blasting jelly and some like spark rocks.
Absolutely.
But like, I don't know what else would there be to take.
Well, throw some stuff out. What sort of things are you looking for? You said you're looking for there.
Oh yeah, so there was the ostrich horse. That's what like.
Yeah, there can probably
like
be
the saddles.
Saddle. That makes sense.
Yeah, so I feel like if we grabbed like 5 of those, we could like line them up on Rue, and then we'd have saddles.
Yeah. Should you also see if we can find some Fire Nation garb, just in case, in the future? That might be useful.
Yeah.
Genius.
Some disguises, potentially.
Do you find any very large Fire Nation garb for...
You've got 2 resources. You can definitely find the saddles. There were some like military saddles, but you repurpose them. And then you've got 1 more resource. So what are you looking for? Are you looking for cash? Or are you looking for blasting jelly? Or are you looking for...
Yeah, I mean some meat.
Yeah, let's get cash. Let's get cash, so that we can get those things. That's
so you grab the saddles and some of the cash, and you see some Fire Nation garbs, and you're about to grab them when someone walks in and says, "Hey, you're probably going to want to get out of here. We're about to reignite that volcano. So if I were you, I would get out as fast as you can."
Yeah, that's a good idea. we're gonna go.
Real quick, why are they trying to reignite the volcano again?
Because they
think
are metals that they can mine that you can't mine from a dormant volcano.
Is that going to
Right,
be
that lava's gonna help.
realistically? Is that going to be a danger to the town?
Oh, probably. Active volcano.
Probably.
Yeah.
Well, we'll find
Rozak's
out.
definitely thinking about this.
Don't think too hard.
So we go.
He's thinking pretty hard.
You're thinking about it as you walk out and continue to start walking up the caldera. You look down, and one final blast from these Fire Nation soldiers explode this core of the volcano, and it starts spewing magma out.
Is there magma coming out the top, like outside?
You, Osa, from the outside, you see this volcano explode and magma start pouring down towards the town. And what you guys do next will have to be next episode.
Oh my gosh. Why?
It's on.
I feel like we're gonna get roped into helping this town.
Man, he's really pulling for it. He's like, there's so many reasons to stay now.
Well, thank you so much for listening. We will be back next week with a new episode. Like and follow us wherever you listen to podcasts. You can follow us at the Flying Bison Podcast on Instagram and Facebook. And I think we're the Bison Podcast or Bison Podcast on Twitter. I couldn't get Flying Bison Podcast or that. That's fine. Whatever. And if you give us a 5-star review, I heard that Steve would come to your house and serenade you with a boombox outside of your window. So listen for that. He's going to be there. It's going to be a great song. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Avatar Legends was developed and produced by Magpie Games. The worlds of Avatar The Last Airbender and Avatar The Legend of Korra are property of Viacom CBS. Intro music is Dizu by Senbei. Outro music is Tokyo Funk by LATG Music. Logo and art by Cate and Matthew Mahnke. You can find more of their work at pomakin.com. Link in the show.